Hi, this is Andrea. Following two incredible seasons, I'm now back with season three of the Neurodiverse Voices podcast. If you're listening or watching for the first time, I am the mother to a beautiful autistic daughter with whom I learn a whole lot every day. This has been my motivation to found and host the Neurodiverse Voices podcast. So join me and my guests in this mission to raise awareness and increase understanding. Together, let's make this world one that embraces and accepts difference. Welcome to the Neurodiverse Voices podcast. Hi,
Yep.
everyone. I'm very, very excited to interview this guest today for many reasons. He's neurodivergent. He is also he's also known. I was going to say AKA, but AKA stands for also known as the Neurodivergent Barber, and he's the founder of Craig's Barbershop. He's been featured in several media outlets, including the Sunday Times, BBC Northwest Tonight, Bolton News, and the Mirror. So I'm feeling a bit intimidated, but I'm pretty sure we are going to have an amazing conversation. Hi, Craig.
Yeah. Lovely to
Welcome to
meet
the
you.
Neuro. Yes, nice to meet you too. Welcome to the Neurodiverse Voices podcast. And as I said, I'm very excited to hear all about your journey. So, can we actually start by you sharing a bit behind founding Craze Barbershop and what inspired you to create a neurodivergent friendly environment for your clients?
So Craig Barbershop started about 7 years ago due to investment of the sister-in-law. She wanted to invest in me and my partner to go create a business, and we didn't know what to do. And we was looking around, and we saw a barbershop called Craig's Barbershop. It was called Craig's, and we thought, oh, we'll have a look at that. We had a look at it. Thought, oh, it'd be ideal that for me on my own. Nothing to worry about because I used to work in a unisex salon within Bolton Town Centre, and then it happened, and then I started doing what I do, and then I got invited down to a nursery to work with children to cut their hair, and they didn't tell me they were neurodivergent. It was just like, "Can you come down and cut some hair?" I went, "Yeah, I'll come down and help these kids get a haircut." And then I got there, and they went, "Just let you know, they're all autistic, and they're all non-verbal autistic as well." I'm like, "Right, okay. If you want to go home, you can go home." I went, "Well, no, I'll take it on." So
Yeah.
I did a few of the hers that day, and now some of my clients in the shop now. But I've always done it. I've been cutting hair about 25 years now. I've always done it. Like, I just give them that time what they need. They just need the patience and the time. Like, back then, I didn't understand it, but
Mhm.
now I do because my children are autistic. So I understand what their sensory needs are now. So it's improved it even further now with my children being autistic. I understand their triggers, so I can implement them strategies within the shop as well. So it's just grown from strength to strength to strength, and like winning awards for it and being recognised, especially by the Greater Manchester NHS. That was just a massive achievement. That was 2 years ago when I
Mhm.
won an award for that because the NHS recognised what I do. Because I go into schools, I go into play centres, and this is I do all this on my day off, and I give back to the community by helping these children, like not just autistic or ADHD, but everyone with a disability. I'll go out and go into the community and give them a haircut in a safe, controlled way. So what some parents struggle with massively because it's a horrible sensory nightmare.
Yeah, that's fantastic what you do. You won't know this, but my mom is a hairdresser, and I did some work with her back in the day. I worked for 1 year, and yeah, a few months with her, and we used to have some autistic children coming to do their hair. But back in the day, like 20 years ago, it was very rare, very not very much talked about, and this was also in Portugal, my home country, and yeah, you really need to kind of understand the sensory needs and how to best engage them and yeah and let you do the haircuts because I also remember that it's not the case of my daughter. She's actually fine, but again, it's grandma who does her hair, so we have no issues. But some children can be quite attached to their hair. Some autistic children can be quite
Oh
attached to
yeah.
their hair, so it's definitely a challenge. So having someone like you, saying no, I will stay, I will do it anyway, regardless, and taking that on board and yeah, I'm just in awe of what you do. So thanks for supporting our community. That's amazing.
No problem.
Yeah. So I think the next question is about how did your personal experience influence your approach to working with clients who have sensory processing difficulties? You kind of answered this, but is there anything else that you would like to add? Are there any specific strategies or tools that you use to make haircuts more comfortable for neurodivergent children and people?
Well, I always do it. I always find out what they need and what the trigger is, because it's every, especially autism, there's all different triggers. Like you said, you mentioned one with emotional attachment. Some have emotional attachment to the hair. Some it's sensory where it physically hurts, me cutting their hair. Some it's just fear and anxiety, because autism, everything's black and white to them. You're thrown into a situation with a stranger and a sharp object, and you teach your child, don't talk to strangers and don't play with scissors. And then you're throwing them into that situation straight away. So the course are going to freak out and lash out and kick off because it's black and white for them.
Yeah.
So, but I've got to like undo all this good parenting these parents have done, these amazing parents have done, and put it back together in a controlled way to show them that you can talk to a stranger and you can let a man near you wear a pair of scissors, or a lady from next to you wear a pair of scissors, and they're not going to cause you any harm, because they just think
Yeah.
everything's going to cause harm because it's a dangerous situation. And that's the way they look at it. They don't look at it as a normal situation, like a neurotypical, rationalise with it.
Yep.
The autism, the black and whiteness in the autism, they can't rationalise with it because you've guided them, because you're a constant in their life. Because you're a constant, they believe everything you say is gospel. You tell them the wall is black and it's white, they'll believe you because that's what you're teaching them, and it's black and white for them.
Absolutely.
So I've got to help them understand that it is safe and it is controlled, and they don't have to sit in the chair, they don't have to sit in the shop, they can sit outside if they want. I'll do what they need to be comfortable. And if it takes 8 visits, if it takes 20 visits, I'll liaise with the parents during that process and go, right, well, I thought about this. Why don't we try this next time you come in? Let's do a social story. Here's a picture of me. Here's a picture of the shop. Here's a picture of my scissors, so you can build them up to it and show them what's going to happen. But it's not an overnight thing. Some are an overnight thing and some aren't. Like some take up to, like I say, 20 visits. Some take 1. So you just never know. So
It
it all
depends.
depends.
It's very unique experiences. So in terms of the environment, because there will be, I don't know if specifically to the barbershop, but there will be blow dryers, there will be the noise of the scissors, for example. So is there anything else besides taking them outside if they want to go outside that you do, or do you try to keep the space quieter, or do you have a specific designated space for them to be with you?
Well, it's naturally quiet anyway, but I've got like a bit of a toy area and a bit of a sense area, but it's just naturally quiet anyway because I don't want a loud salon. I've worked in loud salons all my life, and it just winds me up. You go to the salon to relax. You don't go to have a rave. Like you go to some of these salons, they got music blowing full blast, and they're offering wine, offering beer, and like, you don't need that. You're going to relax after work most of the time and just chill out and have your you time. You don't need pounding music and party time. There's none of that needed. So my shop's just naturally quiet because that's the way I run it. And I still keep them within the shop because they've got to get desensitized to a shop environment. So if they come into a shop and I've got a hairdryer going, or I'm using hair wax, that's igniting their senses, and they've got to get used to these senses because they can't hide all the life. As much as it sounds cruel, they can't. You've got to desensitize them to life and get them ready for life. So they can, when they go to university, especially the younger ones, and they go to a barbershop when they're at uni, I can give them that toolkit to go, right, well, this is what I need to do to regulate through the experience. I can just play with a fidget toy under the gown, or I can just listen to music. And that's how I'll get through the experience. I don't like the experience. I've never liked the experience, but Craig's helped me understand that it doesn't hurt. It's just uncomfortable. And he's just given me these things to understand it and how to get there and make that process a little bit better.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's one of the things I tend to overprotect my daughter sometimes, but in that sense, I always try new things with her. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, next time we try again, but maybe we might adjust something to make it to make the experience better. But I agree, if we don't throw them to the lions a little bit, then they will never.
No, because we did naturally
They
experience. We do it naturally as parents. I do it. I'm guilty of it. We're all guilty of it
Yeah,
being a parent because they're
yeah,
our children and we're there to protect them.
yeah,
But you put them into a situation, it's like, oh, I don't like this. And then as soon as tears come out, we just melt. We're just in the floods of tears ourselves because they think they're in pain, but they're not. They're just scared most of the time.
yeah. And it's part of growing up, isn't it?
It is,
Yeah.
unfortunately. It's just a bit difficult for them. Just a lot more
Yes.
challenging and more. It's hard to navigate the world because the world doesn't understand them.
Yeah.
Because you
Yeah.
can't understand autism because it's everyone's different. I can't. You can't generalize them. You can't say, "Oh, they've got autism. They're going to be like this." Well, not really.
Yeah.
Because my
Yeah.
son and daughter are
Absolutely.
chalk and cheese. You just never know what they're going to do. They're so
Yeah.
polar opposite. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah. Very true. Very true. So you mentioned that you started going to some schools to do haircuts, but do you have like a more specific collaboration with educational settings that support children, and do you go beyond autism and neurodivergent children to children with disabilities or additional needs in general?
Yeah, it's a broad spectrum. It's a full SEND school, so it's a specialist division. Both of them are auto. There's two I do in Bolton now. So one's more complex needs, so like bed bones and wheelchair users, frame users.
Hmm.
So I get all that complex. I get the autism as well. But these are like teenagers because it's a secondary school. So it's a lot more challenging because they've not had the work put in at a young age. So it can get a bit more violent and a bit more aggressive and a bit more challenging because they'll lash out, they'll bite, they'll nip, they'll kick, they'll punch, they'll go full out. So when you've got a fully grown teenager coming at you, you've just got to roll with the punches and got to take this because they've not had the opportunity that some of the younger kids have had when they come in the shop. And they're not doing it out of malice, they're just doing it out of fear and anxiety because
Yeah,
anyone would kick off in that situation. But I eventually bring them back round and we do some positive reinforcement. Like if they nip me, it's like into a high five or things like that. Or if they tried like pulling me and like being very handsy and all that. And we just have to keep doing positive reinforcement. And it's a bit of a
yeah,
longer process working with these ones. But the teachers love it because they see the results from where they when we first met them to where they are now. And it's amazing. And the
yeah,
parents like compliment me and then they'll bring up the shop saying, thank you for cutting my son's hair today when you're going into the school and all that carry on. So it's just nice and rewarding just giving them that opportunity to get that
yeah,
haircut because the parents don't going into a barbershop or a hairdresser's because they never
yeah,
know how the child's going to act or what's going to happen. So I just take all that pressure away from them.
yeah. No, that's amazing. Do you do just boys or boys and girls?
I do boys and girls.
Okay. Yeah. Do you find any differences?
Not really. No, they're all very similar
Similar.
because once they get comfortable in the shop, the mask comes down.
Yeah.
So they're all the same. They've all got the same, especially when we got two in the shop at the same time. That's always an interesting one when they're having stimming fun, when they both set each other off stimming. That's always a fun
Yeah.
experience. But predominantly, they're all the same. They all do the same thing. They all get overexcited and they all get it because I've built that friendship with them and they're all happy that
Yeah.
I've become that constant in their life. I say this to the parents, I have to become a constant. Like, because you're a parent, you're a constant. You need the same doctor, the same nurse. This is why when you go to school, when you apply for your HCP, you get your constant one-to-one because they need that support from that same person so it all flows the same. So if I can become constant to the person who puts the hair, they'll trust me
Yeah.
forever. They'll move
Yeah.
mountains. If they move to America, they'll fly back to get the haircut because they only trust that one person. And
Yeah.
that's,
It's
that's
about
the
building
routine.
trust and keeping the
So
consistency.
it is with everything. Everything. Even with neurotypicals, it works.
Yeah.
You got to keep consistency. Routine sorts everybody out. It keeps us all in a good place.
Yeah.
Yeah, with some people like being spontaneous, but routine be all and end all makes everything a lot easier and a lot better.
Yeah. Absolutely. Especially when you have autism and ADHD traits, that can be quite challenging because you kind of need the routine. I think, as you said, I totally agree. I think all of us need the routine, but then if you have ADHD traits, then it might be quite challenging to to
Oh, it
balance
is.
them
I
both.
completely agree on that one. I know all about that one. When your
Yeah.
brain does, oh look, itching. And just runs off somewhere for about 5 minutes.
And what challenges have you faced in promoting inclusivity within the hair industry, and how have you addressed them so far?
So far, it's a very mixed bag because I've started delivering work. I'm going to start delivering workshops. I've done a few trial runs, and the people who come on board love it.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's other people in the hairdressing community who hate it, and they're saying, "Oh,
And
they should come back when they come more comfortable." Well, they're never going to be more comfortable. You're not giving them an opportunity.
yeah,
Yeah, but I don't want them screaming in the shop. Well, just give them an extra 10 minutes. You're not asking for the world. It don't have to be a full half an hour appointment or 15-minute appointment, depending on the way you book your appointment spaces. But just give them that extra couple of minutes just to regulate. That's all you need to do. It's nothing different. They're still human beings. They've still got hair on their head. Just treat them with some respect, no matter what disability they are. So just look after them because we're a community service. So we have to serve people in our community. So
yeah,
serve everybody in that community, regardless of who they are. So just appreciate them. But I keep pushing in the industry. I'm making noises as much as I can. I'm making as much noise as I can. And I'll just keep doing it until eventually that everyone accepts it and takes the load off me. Because that's what it'll do. Because there's not many of us doing it. I think there's about 6 of us who are doing it. So if I
yeah,
can take that, someone else can do it in my neighbouring town, that makes my life a little bit easier. And I'm
yeah.
not going to be jealous because I've lost customers. I'm going to relish it because more people have got more accessible areas to go. Because I am a busy man, I can't fit literally everybody in,
No,
otherwise I'd never go home.
definitely not. Is this six? Are these six nationally or in the
Definitely, yeah.
north? Nationally, yeah, that's a very low number.
Yeah,
And then it's all a bit of a circle, isn't it? I work with one of the professors I work at the University of Oxford. She's focused her research on body focused repetitive behavior, so the air pulling, for example.
yeah,
And one of the things that is a challenge is the industry as well, because if you have this kind of condition, you are going to be ashamed or embarrassed to go to a salon and have your hair done by a stranger. So actually, you're giving me some ideas to pass on to her eventually and start
yeah,
the conversations as well. I know they have. They've been in talks with the National Association for Hairdressing and Beauty
yeah,
already. But it's similar with neurodivergence, isn't it? Because
yeah,
having your hair cut and your hair done, it's part of boosting your confidence, of making you feel good, of in enhancing your self-esteem.
yeah,
And if you don't do it, it's only going to affect your mental health. So
yeah,
it benefits everyone that the industry takes on more initiatives like yours to be able to support all different kinds of communities and people with mental health conditions.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The other focus that you have, and now moving a bit more towards adults, is on
Yeah,
men's mental health.
yeah,
So I understand that you lost a client to suicide, and that
that's
was
right, yeah.
probably the motivator for you to to start having your barbershop focused on mental health. But tell me a bit more of how you do it, or how do you integrate maybe a bit of therapy, or if, is this is a space for men to come and talk openly, right? So how do you
Yeah.
do it?
Well, it's just normal. It happens in all salon environments, hairdressers, barbershops, beauty salons. It's just normal. We talk to our barber and hairdresser all day long, and it's a safe place. If you take the mind off things, and it's just a typical therapy technique they use, where you do your task and then just start talking to them indirectly, they will open up naturally about what's going on. And you can usually tell when they're feeling a bit blue because they'll come in a bit slouched and go, "How are you feeling today, pal?" Instead of going, "Hey, pal, so how are you feeling today, pal?" The fact of the feeling can just change everything. And they'll just open up to you and just tell you because you're trusting them. Like I mentioned before, you're putting a sharp object towards them. And there's not many people you'll let in your personal space with a sharp object. Other than a surgeon, you're not going to let anyone
Very
else in a
true.
personal space. No one else is going to get near you. You panic when your optometrist puts that thing on your head and you think like that. You wince then when that comes towards you and things like that. So sick of sharp, like a cutthroat razor or a pair of scissors, people just instantly relaxed anyway because they're coming for that experience, like you said. They want to feel good afterwards. But sometimes that doesn't help. They just need a bit of a chat to get it off the chest, and then you just signpost them. The resources are out there. They're all over the place. They're everywhere. You can get them on your phone. You can get them literally everywhere. So just give them that little help along to go, well, why don't you speak to Samaritans, or why don't you speak to Shout, or any of these amazing charities who need support. And then some case scenarios where I've had to get people sectioned because they're that far, where they're at risk of their own life, and I've had to fully intervene. But that's only happened about 3 or 4 times. But it's upsetting when it does, because they've got to that far down the rabbit hole and they're struggling that much because no one's giving them the time of day. And there is a mental health crisis nationally because it's overprescribed. Because we're going through so much immense pressure these days, put under so much pressure because we've got to work this hard, we've got to pay all these bills and all this carry on. And it's a massive stress on us all. We're all meant to work really hard and provide and all the rest of it. And yeah, I'm successful, I'm doing well in a successful business, but I don't see myself as a wealthy person. I just see myself as a working class person. I go home, I feed my kids and I pay my bills. I don't go on lavish holidays, I don't have a lavish car. I just have a very simple life. And I think that's what keeps me humble, that I can have that simple life, but I can go out and buy nice things if I want to have nice things. But I don't want to. I'd rather reinvest back into the shop and make the shop better and more of a safe place for all the community from every angle.
Yeah, that's amazing. The world needs more people like you, for sure. Yeah, and I think with the concern with men is that we women we are a lot more open, a lot more talkative. So for them, I think you're right. You know, naturally, if we go to a saloon, we will be chatting, but people might not want to go to private. So men are more difficult to open up. So it's great to see that you provide that space for your clients. So looking ahead, what are your goals for expanding awareness and support for neurodivergent individuals in the rest of the industry and within the community?
So get this workshop off the air, get that running, get that pushed out to the industry, educate them how I do things and how I approach it and deal with it, and just keep pushing it and just keep making as much noise as I possibly can. I've got a trade show this weekend and a award ceremony this weekend, so that'll be fun. So the last one I went to was the most craziest one I ever went to. That were interesting. That were her industry one. And the Neurodivergent Barber name come from pretty much that, because I remember walking in, and before, like, these people, like big industry titans, knew me as Craig from the like portfolio. And then they've looked at like my social media, not followed me or anything, but looked at it and went, "You're that Neurodivergent Barber, aren't you?" I went, "Yeah." And that's all I was known of through the whole evening. I'd walk around and go, "Oh, you don't know, you're that Neurodivergent Barber, aren't you?" Because they see my reels. I went, "Yeah." So when I got back, I changed my name to the Neurodivergent Barber and I thought, right, I'm making this into a brand.
Yes.
So that's where the logos come in and everything else. I've done designed the logo, the hair logos like the Neurodivergent colours on a hair strand. So it's just grown to another level now, and it's getting recognised for that. And I'm that see the be the point of contact. So if anyone needs support with neurodivergent clients, they'll contact me. So which I think's brilliant. And I'm making these waves, but I just need to keep on pushing it now and pushing it. And the more awards I get noticed for, like I'm up for one this weekend, if I win that pushes it even more up the higher, because they want to know why he's winning it. And then they'll ask questions and go, "This is what I'm doing." And go, how do I implement this? And how do I implement this? So it'll just keep following on. So I'm just taking it as it comes, one step at a time, and just keep being humble with it. If I win, I win. I don't. And I'll just keep making my little differences and keep making noise in trade magazines and everything else. And eventually more and more will do it.
Yeah, and being on the media and this interview, for example, and it's word of mouth. I know. Have you heard about the neurodivergent barber? So eventually, you know, you are definitely a role model to follow. So you are very busy. You run your
Yeah.
business, you are a parent, you have a partner. So who is your biggest support on your journey?
I probably say my partner and my kids. They just absolutely love it. They think it's amazing what I do. They get upset about it sometimes because I'm working so hard and all the rest of it, but they know why I'm doing it because they got diagnosed really late, like really, really late because of the battle we had trying to get them diagnosed.
Mhm.
But they appreciate what I do. Yeah, they have moments where they go, "Oh well, you can deal with the kids at the shop, but why can't you deal with me?" You know, if they're on a meltdown. And it's like, well, her cutting hair is completely different to dealing with a meltdown over food. I can handle a haircut meltdown because I know what it's causing it because I've worked with that child for over 2 or 3 times. Yes, I know I'll live with you, but your sensory changes with food change every month, so I can't keep up with you. So that's what they get a bit upset by it, but they understand why I'm doing it. They think it's amazing why I'm doing it. When I won the NHS award, they were in floods of tears because like they couldn't believe it that I'd won an
Wow.
NHS award for putting her, and now we could the room. So 'cause I turned up and it was full of doctors and surgeons and caregivers, and I'm a barber. And I still remember walking around the like venue with my missus, and it was like, "You're out of place here, aren't you?" I went, "I am," because usually I can talk a room to sleep. I can walk around and talk to anybody because that's just the way I am. I'm just very approachable. I'm the person who says morning into your street and just annoys the hell at you at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
But when you're walking in a room with a load of doctors and surgeons, and they do my major operations, and I did one doing two back insides an hour ago. It's like, what do you talk about? I'm like, I'm out of
Yep.
my depth here. Like this one this weekend, I'll be like floating around the room talking to everybody because it's an industry and I know what I'm talking about, and everyone knows who I am. And then I walk into this, it's like, and then you got the Mayor of Manchester making a speech about COVID, saying how all these doctors and surgeons are amazing work. Oh, and we've got a barber in the room, and the whole room went quiet because he mentioned a barber. And like everyone's like, why is a barber in the room? What's he doing? And it
Yeah,
just
but
like created a pin drop. It was weird.
yeah,
They're
that
all
makes it
chatting like they
even
do.
yeah, that
But
makes it even more impressive. Yeah, and it's about mixing up the different experiences. I feel a bit like that at work because I normally say I'm just a project manager, but
yeah,
I work with these global leading researchers and these
yeah,
amazing scientists who are advancing research. But I feel valued. I feel like my lived experience and the projects that I run on neurodiversity there are valued and are important. So it's about mixing up the different and working all together. I think that's key
no, exactly,
for things to
100%.
change. Yeah, and good luck for your award this
We'll
weekend.
see.
Yeah, I will want to know if you got it or not. I'll keep an eye on
Oh,
social media.
everyone will know. Everyone, the whole world will know if I win.
Yeah, good. Um, and how, so you support your clients with their well-being, by creating this space for them to talk about life and their struggles. How do you treat yourself with your well-being? Do you do any activities or?
Pretty much running and ice baths. That's all I do. And go for a big stupid run, which I started about 4 months ago. I started running again, so it's just I do it now because I'm enjoying it. Before I used to do it with fitness and I never used to enjoy it. Like, not going for a run,
Mm,
not doing that part of my training. Yeah. And now I'm just running for fun. I'm doing like average about 18k. So I'm
that's
doing some
amazing.
big distance. I'm doing some big distances at the minute, and Bolton's just a big hill. It's ridiculous. I can go anywhere and I'll hit a hill. So, but I've got 3 events this year, like 10Ks, which I've never done before, like doing a public event. So this is going to stick me so far at my comfort zone. It's unbelievable. So I've got my first one in June, so that'll be a nice experience to get a feel for what it's like. And if it goes well, I'll do a fundraising one. I'll go and
Yeah,
raise money for charity. If I'll pick a random charity like Autism Society or something to do with autism because it's close to my heart.
yeah,
So no matter what it is, even if it's a local autism charity in Bolton, I'll do it for them. So and then I'll probably do a marathon just go all out and go full on crazy. But we just don't know. We just don't know where it's going to go on. And I do my ice baths as well. I find that a good release and just shut down in the morning and just sit in it and just have 10 minutes to myself where it's just quiet. Because I'm an early
yeah,
riser. I'm up at 5 in the morning, so everyone's asleep. So I just sit there and just chill, literally chill away for a bit and just relax and that's what sorts my mental health out.
Yeah, perfect time to do it quietly. I never tried an ice bath. I don't feel brave enough to do it, but yeah, I think one day I will. But yeah, and good luck with your runs and with the marathons. That's great. And who is your biggest inspiration?
I don't. Mm, I'd say my partner, because she's dealt with a hell of a lot, and she's just a superpower. Honestly, I couldn't say anything more about her. She's just an absolute superpower because being a mum looking after two autistic children, running a home business, home educating one of them
Mhm.
as well at the same time, while doing all this and getting me working long hours and all the rest of it I'm doing. And she's just a superhero. She's just incredible what she does. I just don't know how. So she's really inspiring for a lot of people. And I don't know how she does it. I don't know how she manages to run a home business, home educate, and do everything she does and keep the house running. It's incredible.
Yeah.
So I'd say she's the inspiration. It's just incredible. I couldn't say anything more really.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's amazing to see. Really, I think when our partners are our inspiration, and it's not a celebrity or someone, yeah, like very popular. That means a lot. So yeah, and it's impressive for everything that she does, because yeah, it's not easy, especially being a
No.
parent of I'm a mom of one autistic child, and it's difficult. So imagine with two.
Yeah.
I don't know how much you are into superheroes and Marvel and DC, but if you could be one, which one would you be? Or if you could have a superpower, what would it be, and how you would use it to change the world?
Probably mind reading, to be honest. Just so I can understand what they want from me, these kids sometimes, especially the non-verbals, but understand what pain they're going through when I'm cutting their hair, other than them screaming at me.
Yeah,
If they could tell me they're scared or it hurts or whatever, that's it. That's all I'd want. Just to make
I
my
think
life a little bit easier.
yeah, I think that would be mine too. And you're not the first guest who answers with that same superpower. I think it would be a lot. It would make our life a lot easier for sure, as
Oh, it would.
parents,
Oh,
as
definitely.
yeah, yeah. Um, Music. Um, is there one song, or there might be more than one, or a band that captures your journey? And how does it resonate with you?
We were talking on Myers one, but it just completely just popped into me head like last year when I was going
Mhm.
through like the full wave of this and like it was just going mental. It's when I won the biggest industry award, I won best local salon last year, and I still remember that song coming on. I think it was called Bloodstream by Tokyo Myers, and it just builds up. It's nice and methodic and chilled and all relaxing, and then it just breaks down like really deep and bassy and rich and all right. And that's what it felt like. My life felt like. It's like my life was just building up to this moment, and I've just won the best local talent in the country. It was just insane, and it's still six now. It's like there's something building, but what's next? What's next going to be? What's the next biggest thing that's going to turn up and change everything? Could be some one person listening to this podcast when, all right, let's do a documentary about Craig and his work he does at the shop. Like a BBC or a Channel 4, like a Stacey
Yeah,
Dooley thing. They just randomly pick it up, the researchers. You just never know, do you? So could that
nope.
be the next big thing? And I'm always thinking that every time that song comes on shuffle randomly, I think, what's the next biggest thing coming to go bang, explosion, like take me to another level and another level and another level. And that's what it feels like that song.
Yeah, yeah. I'll add the link onto the song as well, because I'm quite curious. I don't know it, or I might know it, but I don't recognize it through the name.
Yeah, it was on Britain's
Um,
Got Talent. He's a pianist off Britain's Got Talent.
yeah. I used to watch the X Factor many years ago,
Yeah.
but then I never watched Britain's Got Talent very often, but yeah, I'll look it up. I'm quite curious now. Thank you. And what are your hopes for the future? I think you kind of summarized this already with the
Yeah,
song choice.
but pretty much everything that I've discussed. Just keep moving forward and pushing it forward, and hopefully to get a bit more free time. That's what I'd like.
Yeah,
Just to
because that's
have a
very
bit
much
more
needed.
family time. Yeah, it is. I'm shattered. I've been doing this solidly now, building this business for 7 years. I need a rest now. I got my first week off this year in 7 years, and we're going for a nice little cottage holiday with the kids and the dog and the missus. We're just going for a nice little cottage break, which I'm really looking forward to. And tomorrow is probably the first Saturday I've had off in 25 years because I'm going down to this trade show and award show. And what I used to do, I finish work and then travel down. And then I get in at like midnight, have about 2 hours sleep. So I'm an early rider, and then fire all the way through. And it weren't good for my mental health. But now I've got a member of staff who's doing the neurodivergent work as well, which is incredible. I didn't expect him to. He's took it on board himself to get involved with it, which is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
So it's growing even further. And I can go and travel down Saturday now on a nice leisurely train and just take it easy and don't have to stress. I can sit there and have mid brew and just not worry. And then I can get sleep at a sensible hour and be fresh in the morning for the trade show and the awards.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very, very much deserved. I really hope you have a good time, and I'm
Oh, I'm
sure you'll
sure I
come
will.
back refreshed. Yeah, 7 years without proper break, it's too long for sure.
Oh, it is.
Um, and finally, if your heart had a voice, what would it tell us?
It's not otherwise, sorry.
If your
What was the
heart,
question?
if
Yeah.
your heart had a voice, what would it tell us?
Industry wise, like I said, we're a community service, so just serve everyone in your community, look after everybody in your community because we're there to make people look good and feel good. So look after everybody, no matter how they do that. What race, what disability, what gender, doesn't matter. Put everyone's her. Make them feel special, make them feel loved, make them look fantastic and feel fantastic because that's what we got into it for. And if you're not in for that reason, you're not in the right job. I mean, you've got to be passionate to do this job. I lost my passion 15 years ago and then it come back when I got my own shop. Like my passion reignited and then it's like another level of passion now. And I enjoy cutting hair. It's a hobby. Basically, it's an extension of my home. I come to work. I don't really come to work anymore. I come to work because I love it. And it's a hobby and it's a passion and I'm making people feel good. And I'm helping families now as well from all that stuff. So it's just incredible. So just be caring and love everybody. Just love everybody, no matter who they are. All love each other and support each other. That's all we need to do. That's all we need to do.
Yeah, love is key in everything, and yeah, when you find the job that you work on, but it doesn't feel like work, it's I think it's the best feeling in life. So yeah, Craig, is there anything else you would like to add or to share?
We covered everything, haven't we? Been a right
Yeah,
good waffle.
yeah. It's been an amazing pleasure. I wish you the best of luck for the awards, for the marathons, for the barbershop, and hopefully one day I'll go up to Bolton,
Yep,
and I'll get to visit. I'll visit it in person. I would love that.
yep. See the crazy madhouse.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much, and we will definitely stay in touch.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.